Bonjour! In this session of the French Beginners course, we will continue with some of the basics grammar we started presenting last time, namely futur proche. Now we all remember the verb aller, to go, as we've presented it from the very beginning, and we also said that aller, besides being one of the important verbs, it's also an auxiliary verb. Let's see again the forms of the verb aller. Alors, to go. Je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, on va. Nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. With the past participle aller. Bon. Donc, salut Jobo, où vas-tu? Je vais au café. Mais tu as cours maintenant? Oui, mais le prof est horrible, vraiment horrible. Attention, il arrive. Ah bonjour monsieur le professeur, comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? So you have in this text the verb aller with its meaning of to go, as well as in a construction, in a phrasal verb, such as comment allez-vous, which you already know. Greetings, how are you doing today, right? And you can practice some more with the verb aller if you maybe feel that you're not confident enough with the forms of the verb aller in present tense, or if you just want to practice some more. Donc, Joe Bob va au parc pour jouer au foot. Joe Bob goes to the park to play football. Nous n'allons pas en classe aujourd'hui. Aller en classe, to have classes, to go to school. Nous n'allons pas en classe aujourd'hui. We're not going to school today. Comment allez-vous? How are you doing? Ainsi de suite, and so forth and so on. As well, in order to make sure that you recognize the appropriate form in the sentence or in the context, this is a very good exercise, listening comprehension. So you can pause here and start practicing with the forms of the verb aller, while I move on to the near future, futur proche. Voilà, futur proche. There are two future tenses in French, the simple future and the near future. Le futur proche. The futur proche is usually translated into English as going to infinitive. Going to eat, going to drink, going to talk. The futur proche is characteristic of spoken French but may be used in informal writing. It is formed with the verb aller, to go, conjugated in present tense, followed by an infinitive. It's really pretty straightforward, just like in English. Okay? In English, it is going plus infinitive. And in French, it is going in present tense, conjugated in present tense, plus infinitive. Let's take a first group verb like nager. To swim. Je vais nager, tu vas nager, il va nager, elle va nager, on va nager. Nous allons nager, vous allez nager, ils vont nager, elles vont nager. The negative of the futur proche places ne and pas around the form of the auxiliary. Okay? Auxiliary being the verb aller in this context. Je ne vais pas nager. Je vais aller à Barton Springs. J'adore l'eau, je vais nager. Tu viens avec moi, Betty? Tu es fou! Il fait trop froid, je ne vais pas nager. Voilà, je ne vais pas nager, tu ne vas pas nager, il ne va pas nager, elle ne va pas nager, on ne va pas nager. Nous n'allons pas nager, vous n'allez pas nager, ils ne vont pas nager, elles ne vont pas nager. For details on usage for of future proche, see or future in general, future uses, we can see the future. Tax Tammy, nous allons aller à Burton Springs, mais il y a de gros nuages gris, il va pleuvoir. Chouette, je vais nager sous la pluie. Je vais rester, rester. Ok? Je ne sors pas ce soir. I'm not going out tonight. Sortir, to go out. Je vais rester à la maison. I'm going to stay home. Nous avons l'examen demain. Nous allons étudier ce soir. Nous avons un examen demain. We have an exam tomorrow. Nous avons, the verb avoir, to have. Nous allons étudier. Ok? Ce soir. We are going to study tonight, this evening. Tex et Tammy vont voyager en France cet été. Vont voyager. Tex et Tammy are going to travel to France this summer. J'ai besoin d'argent. Je vais travailler cet automne. J'ai besoin d'argent. I need money. Phrasal verb, yeah. Or idiomatic expression with the verb avoir. J'ai besoin d'argent. I need money. Je vais travailler cet automne. I will work. I'm going to work this summer. J'ai faim. I'm hungry. Okay? Another idiomatic expression with the verb avoir. J'ai faim. Est-ce qu'on va manger bientôt? Est-ce qu'on va manger bientôt? Or est-ce qu'on va bientôt manger? Okay, so bientôt, which is an adverb, can go in between the auxiliary and the infinitive, or it can go all the way at the end as it is in this sentence. Il y a du soleil. Il va faire chaud aujourd'hui. Ok, il va faire chaud. Il y a du soleil. It's sunny. As you remember expressions with il y a du soleil. Il va faire chaud. And expressions with the verb faire, especially related to weather, because it's impersonal. Ainsi de suite. Okay, so you have more examples. And please do not forget to check your answers. Also, I believe that you have to write the entire sentence for the check answers function to work at 100%. Now, we don't have time to do that in a video, so I'm just writing the forms, required. But when you do the exercise, fill out the whole sentence. Bon donc, ça c'est le futur proche, that's the near future. Now, considering that we have covered future proche, we have covered the pronominal verbs as well, I would like to do some practice with la routine quotidienne, the daily routine. It's going to be in present tense, and it's going to use a lot of the verbs that we've covered so far. It's from Podcast Français Facile. I'll put you the link in the description box. Et voyons. This exercise is really good because you can practice it in present tense, passé composé, futur simple, imparfait, conditionnel, etc. Mais pour l'instant, but for the time being, we're just gonna do it in present tense. Alors, le matin, Sylvie se lève à 6 heures ou 6h30. Le matin, in the morning, Sylvie se lève. Sylvie wakes up, gets up. Se lever, to get up. Se lève, gets up. The verb se lever, it's when it's conjugated in present tense. It's a first group verb, present tense, but when the endings in the persons with that the verb has mute endings like es, the e before v receives an accent grave. Okay, that's a particularity of the first group of verbs. We're gonna see that in a second. Sylvie se lève. Okay, Sylvie gets up. À 6 heures, at 6 o'clock, ou à 6h30, or 6:30. C'est assez tôt pour elle. It's rather early for her. Assez tôt. Quite early, rather early. Elle prend sa douche. She takes a shower. Et elle s'habille. And she gets dressed. Ensuite, then. So you're gonna have this adverbs that help present or create development in action lang. Ensuite, and then, et après, and then, and after that. Okay, so you're gonna see them later on. I'm going to highlight them. Ensuite, and then, elle prend son petit déjeuner. She has breakfast. Pendant son petit déjeuner, during breakfast, elle lit un peu. She reads a little. Lire. We have not done that. It's a third group verb. Elle lit un peu. She reads some. She reads a little. Et elle écoute la radio. And she listens to the radio. Après son petit déjeuner, after her breakfast, elle s'occupe de ses plantes vertes. She takes care of her plants. Ensuite, after that, elle se prépare pour partir au travail. Elle se prépare, she gets ready, se préparer. Pour partir, to go au travail, to work. Elle se brosse les dents, she brushes her teeth. Elle se maquille, she puts on makeup. Elle met son manteau, she puts on her coat. Et elle part au travail, and she goes to work. Elle part de chez elle à 7h15. Elle part de chez elle, or we've also learned the verb quitter. Elle quitte la maison. Elle part de chez elle, she leaves. This is the verb partir. It's a second group verb, irregular, and we will see that in a little bit together with sortir and dormir. Donc, elle part de chez elle, she leaves her home, or elle quitte la maison, she leaves the house, à 7h15, at 7:15. Avant de commencer son travail, before starting work, donc avant de plus verb in infinitive. Avant de manger, on prie. Before eating, we pray. Avant de se coucher, on prend une douche. Before going to bed, we take a shower. Ainsi de suite. Donc, avant de commencer ce travail, before starting her work, elle prend un café avec Julien, son collègue. She has a coffee with Julien, her coworker. Elle travaille de 8h à midi. She works from 8 o'clock to noon. à midi, de 8h à midi ou de 8h jusqu'à midi. Après son travail, elle va se promener dans un parc. After her work or after work, she goes to take a walk in a park. Se promener, to take a walk. It's very different, as I said, between you being the subject and the one subjected to the action, which makes it the action to be reflexive or pronominal. On se promenait, as opposed to, for instance, I walk my dog every morning. Je promène mon chien tous les matins. Okay, it's not reflexive when I walk my dog. Elle se promène pendant 1 heure et puis elle rentre. So she takes a walk for an hour and then she goes back home. Rentrer ou elle rentre chez elle. Puis elle rentre ou elle rentre chez elle. She goes back home. Chaque soir, elle fait quelques courses au supermarché du coin. Every evening, chaque soir, as well as tous les soirs. We are going to see the adverb and the adjective to in a little bit. Elle fait quelques courses. She does some shopping. Au supermarché du coin. In the supermarket around the corner. Du coin. Around the corner. Elle parle quelques minutes avec la voisine. She talks, she chats for a few minutes. Quelques minutes. Avec la voisine, with a neighbor. It's a female neighbor, right? Elle rentre pour préparer le repas. And she goes back home to prepare dinner or something to eat. Okay? Préparer le repas is different from se préparer, which means to get ready. Okay? Sylvie vit seule. Sylvie lives by herself, lives alone. Seule, adjective, alone. Elle n'a pas d'animaux. She doesn't have pets. Elle est heureuse comme ça. And she's happy this way. Le soir, in the evening, elle mange en regardant son programme préféré à la télé. Elle mange, she eats, en regardant. Watching or while watching. Un plus verb ending in ant is basically verb ing. Doing something while doing something else. Elle mange en regardant son programme préféré, her favorite channel on TV. Ensuite, then, elle fait la vaisselle. She does the dishes. Et elle téléphone à une amie. And she calls a friend. Puis, and then, elle se démaquille. She removes her makeup. The prefix de in French language means to undo something. If se maquiller means to put on makeup, se démaquiller means to remove makeup. If s'habiller means to get dressed, se déshabiller means to get undressed. Okay, de or depending if the verb in front of which de is placed starts with vowel or consonant. If it starts with vowel or ash, it's going to be des, okay? Déshabiller. Faire, to do, défaire, undo, ainsi de suite. Elle se déshabille, okay, so she removes her clothes, et elle prend son bain, and she takes a bath. Elle en prend un chaque soir. She takes a bath every evening. This un refers to something that has been mentioned in the previous sentence. We're not going to go into that quite yet. Just so you know, is the adverb pronoun un, and there is another one, y. Elle y reste pendant 1 heure. She stays in the bath or bathtub for an hour. Après le bain, after the bath, elle se sèche. longuement les cheveux. She dries for a while her hair. Et après, and then, elle se couche. She goes to bed. Elle lit un peu avant de s'endormir. She reads a little before going to bed, before falling asleep. Avant de, again, plus a verb in infinitive. Avant de commencer. Avant de s'endormir, to fall asleep. Elle s'endort vers minuit. And she falls asleep around midnight. Et voilà. There you go. A perfect example of how we can use pronominal verbs in context. Alors, you also have an exercise attached to this reading. I already opened it for you. Quelques questions. We have some questions. And I encourage you to do that because it would be great practice for you. À quelle heure est-ce qu'elle se lève? What time does she get up? Okay, and you have the answer in the text. Sylvie se lève or elle se lève à 6 heures ou à 6h30. Qu'est-ce qu'elle fait quand elle prend son petit déjeuner? Qu'est-ce qu'elle fait? What does she do? Quand elle prend son petit déjeuner, when she has breakfast. Elle lit un peu et elle écoute la radio. She reads a little and she listens to the radio. À quelle heure est-ce qu'elle part de chez elle? What time does she leave her place? Voilà. Dans le texte, elle part de chez elle, à 7h15. She leaves her place at 7:15. Elle reste combien de temps dans son bain? How much time does she stay in the bath? Elle reste, elle y reste pendant 1 heure, for an hour. Avant de s'endormir, qu'est-ce qu'elle fait? What does she do before falling asleep? Elle lit un peu avant de s'endormir. She reads a little before falling asleep. Vrai ou faux? True or false? Sylvie n'a pas de plantes. Sylvie doesn't have plants. Vrai ou faux? But we know it's faux because in the text they say elle, après son petit déjeuner, elle s'occupe de ses plantes vertes. Okay? Après son petit déjeuner. Elle connaît Julien. Vrai ou faux? Bah, vrai. Okay? Qui est Julien? Who is Julien? Julien est son collègue de travail. Julien, it's her coworker, the one that she has coffee with every morning. Après son travail, elle rentre tout de suite, vrai ou faux? After her work, après. So you need to remember these connectors. Après, ensuite, puis, avant de. Donc, après son travail, after her work, elle rentre, she goes back home, tout de suite, immediately, tout de suite, right away. Faux. Donc, après son travail, elle va se promener dans un parc. Ok? Donc, d'abord, elle va se promener dans un parc. First, she's gonna go take a walk in a park pendant 1 heure, for an hour. Et puis, elle rentre chez elle. Mais avant de rentrer, before going home, I don't know, en tout cas, chaque soir, elle fait quelques courses au supermarché du coin. Voilà. Et Sylvie est mariée. Sylvie is married. Non, ça c'est faux, elle n'est pas mariée, elle vit toute seule. Voilà, elle vit seule. Ok, elle n'a pas d'animaux et elle est heureuse comme ça. Et elle ne prend pas de douche le soir. She doesn't take a shower in the evening. Bah, that's true because basically elle prend son bain. She takes a bath. Okay. Elle prend sa douche. She takes a shower. Elle prend son bain. She takes a bath. So in the evening, elle ne prend pas une douche. Elle prend son bain. She doesn't take a shower. She takes her bath. She takes a bath. Ensuite, you're gonna have to fill in the blanks with what you remember from the text, and namely the pronominal verbs. Alors le matin, Sylvie, how do you say get up at? Se lève à 6h ou 6h30. C'est assez tôt pour elle. Elle prend sa douche et elle... What does she do again? Ainsi de suite. So, very good practice for you. Please try to finish this practice. If you have any questions, please let me know. Alors, I made a remark regarding the first group verbs that, like in case of se lever, when you conjugate it in present tense, and the verb, in the cases where the verb ends in mute endings, in mute terminaison, there is an accent, un E accent grave before the V. What does that mean? So let's see the stem of some first group verbs. Where am I going to go? Je ne sais pas, voyons. Alors, I remember we learned the first group verbs, if I'm not mistaken, in maybe chapitre 2, ER, regular. Alors, j'imagine chapitre 3 should be irregular, or special stems. Voilà, ER verbs, stem changing in present tense. You may have already noticed the spelling change in the verb s'appeler. Je m'appelle, tu t'appelles. Ok, rappeler. Or jeter. The consonant L or T in the stem double in all forms of the present tense, except in the first and second person plural nous, vous. This follows the traditional but pattern of ER verb conjugaison in present tense. Donc, appeler, to call. And if the ending is mute, which it is for all of them besides nous, vous, it's gonna double the L. This is why it's je. You can put je m'appelle. Je m'appelle, tu t'appelles, il s'appelle, elle s'appelle, on s'appelle. Nous nous appelons, vous vous appelez, il s'appelle, elle s'appelle. You need to know that E before a double consonant becomes a sound. E before a single consonant, unless it has accent, so it's graphically marked. Unless that, then it's going to be E. This is why I can say je m'appelle and I say nous nous appelons. Tu t'appelles, vous vous appelez. Voilà. Il s'appelle, plural singular, it's the same, double L. And a past participle appeler. This same but pattern is repeated in spelling change verbs like préférer. In these verbs, the E in the last syllable, after F, right, of the stem changes to an E grave. So E accent aigu in the last syllable of the stem being before we remove the ending. This is how we get the stem. We remove the ending of the infinitive, er, in case of first group verbs, right? And that E accent aigu in the last syllable of the stem changes to an E accent grave, except in the first and second person plural, because the first and second person plural are the only ones that have the ending sonore. So let's see carefully. Préférer, je préfère, tu préfères, il préfère, elle préfère, on préfère. Nous préférons, vous préférez, il préfère, elle préfère. Okay? And past participle is going to be préféré. So you see how what used to be E accent aigu now changes to E accent grave before the mute endings. Same way we can conjugate, so we can practice. We can conjugate the verbs considérer, espérer, régler, répéter, sécher. Par exemple, espérer. Let's try a verb that starts with a vowel. I know that by now you should know that, there is elision for the case of je, for first person singular, when the verb starts with a vowel, but it's always good to practice some more. Alors, j'espère, and this E right here is going to become accent grave. J'espère, tu espères, il espère, elle espère, on espère. Nous espérons, vous espérez, ils espèrent, elles espèrent. In verbs which are conjugated like acheter, the E in the last syllable of the stem also changes in E accent grave, again with the exception of the first and second form plural. Alors, acheter becomes j'achète, tu achètes, il achète, elle achète, on achète. Nous achetons, vous achetez, ils achètent, elles achètent. And the past participle acheter, same as acheter, we have the verb amener, amener, lever, like in the context with Sylvie, par exemple, je me lève, tu te lèves, il se lève. We're going to see that when we're going to check in a moment the verb reference list. Mener, peser. Another group of stem changing verbs includes those ending in A, Y, E, R, like essayer, payer. In these verbs, the Y changes to E in all persons except the first and second plural, nous, vous. Essayer. Je sais, tu essaies, il essaie, elle essaie, on essaie. Nous essayons, vous essayez, ils essaient, elles essaient. Past participle, essayer. To try. Finally, verbs ending in ger, like voyager, add an E after the G in the new form of the present tense, so that the G is pronounced as a soft sound before the O and S. Similarly, the verbs ending in ser, commencer, for example, the C in the new form changes to C apostrophe, cd, pardon. cd, to keep the soft C sound like commençons. Obviously, it makes sense if you're going to conjugate the verb we will see what happens if we didn't use the E before, after the G or after the C. Je voyage, tu voyages, il voyage, il voyage, on voyage. Now, in order to keep the J sound, I have to have E after G, because otherwise it's gonna sound like G. Nous voyageons, and that sound doesn't exist. It doesn't. You know, it's it throws off the balance of the conjugation. So then we put E and we keep that J sound. Nous voyageons, vous voyagez, il voyage, elle voyage. Past participle voyager. The same way for commencer. Everywhere is going to be commencer as here. Je commence, tu commences, il commence, elle commence, on commence. Nous, however, if we keep the simple C with O and S, is going to be commenceront, and that throws off the balance of the conjugation, right? So we need to keep that S sound. So then we put c'est dire, okay? Commençons, just in case of garçon. Nous commençons. But we go back to c'est, EZ for vous commencez, il commence, elle commence. Other verbs that go the same way are corriger, exiger, manger. Okay, nous mangeons. Nager, partager, ranger, rédiger une lettre, songer. Voilà. Quelle activité est-ce que vous préférez en été? J'amène mes enfants à la piscine. Nous nageons et nous mangeons de la glace. Moi, je préfère faire du shopping. J'achète beaucoup et papa paie toujours. Et papa paie tout, ok? Sympa. Alors, you have a lot of practice. Please practice. Take the time to practice. As long as you understand the rules, you should have no problems. And now, for example, let's see some of the verbs. We're saying maybe we want to see the verb lever, se lever, to wake up, to get up. And maybe also the verb payer, since essayer was presented here, let's see the verb payer. And maybe the verb commencer as well. So, as you remember, I'm just going to go back to my chapter index, go on whatever chapter under the grammar, and look at the verb conjugation reference. And I want to check the verb lever or se lever. Se lever. Ok. Alors, je me lève. Tu te lèves. Il se lève. Elle se lève. On se lève. Nous nous levons. Vous vous levez. Il se lève. Elle se lève. Okay? Alors, we can also see right now futur proche because we've already learned it. So, je vais me lever. Tu vas te lever. Il va se lever. Elle va se lever. On va se lever. Nous allons nous lever. Vous allez vous lever. Ils vont se lever. Elles vont se lever. Okay, so when you do the conjugation of a pronominal verb in futur proche, is gonna be subject, auxiliary, which is the verb aller in present tense, reflexive pronoun, and infinitive of the verb. Okay. Voilà. Let's maybe go back and see the verb payer, to pay, where we know that the radical, the stem, has an Y that turns to E before mute endings. To pay. Alors je paie, tu paies, il paie, elle paie, on paie, nous payons, vous payez, il paie, elle paie. And futur proche, je vais payer, tu vas payer, il va payer, elle va payer, on va payer. Nous allons payer, vous allez payer, ils vont payer, elles vont payer. Voilà. And why not? Let's see the verb commencer. Et commencer. Alors je commence, tu commences, il commence, elle commence, on commence. Nous commençons. Voilà. Vous commencez, il commence, elle commence. And le futur proche du verbe commencer. Je vais commencer, tu vas commencer, il va commencer, elle va commencer, on va commencer. Nous allons commencer, vous allez commencer, ils vont commencer, elles vont commencer. This tool right here is great because you can also print it out if you want to have it, the handout, if you want to have them handy, or you can just access them as you're doing the practice online. Bon, bah c'est tout pour maintenant. That's all for now. In the next session of the French Beginners course, we will be discussing more about the determiners, namely possessive determiners, demonstrative determiners, as well as expressions of quantity and the adjective or adverb, because it can have both functions, of tout. Right now, there is another grammar point I would like to tackle. There are three verbs that you've seen in the text with Sylvie when she's presenting her daily routine. And those verbs are sortir, partir, part de chez elle, sortir, sort du travail, donc, and dormir, right? Which is, s'endormir is a compound of the verb dormir, to sleep. Okay, so I believe it's chapter 3. Voyons, yes. As you can see, these verbs, partir, sortir, and dormir, they all end in er. Now I said er, it's the mark of the second group verbs. While we have not yet presented the second group verbs, we also know that they are regular and irregular. Partir, sortir, dormir are irregular second group verbs. And we're gonna learn them together because they share the same conjugation pattern. Listen carefully to the pronunciation of these verbs. Nothing, especially the pronunciation of the consonants, should sound in the plural form. Can you hear the difference between the singular and the plural forms in the third person? Okay. Alors, donc, partir, you know, we have to first obtain the radical, but irregular verbs, they're irregular because they don't have one radical or one root, one stem. They have two. For the je, tu, il, elle singular, so for the singular persons, they have the radical or the stem par, and for the plural person, the stem part with a T. Okay? Alors, donc je pars, tu pars, il part, elle part, on part. So there is no pronunciation whatsoever of the terminaison, okay, of SST. No sound of the terminaison whatsoever. Although it's graphically marked and it's present there, it's mute. Nous partons. Vous partez, ils partent, elles partent. However, there is a pronunciation of the T in plural forms. And of course, although the ENT ending is mute for il, elle, persons, plural, we can hear the T, part, okay, in the T in the radical, in the stem. Encore une fois, one more time, and please listen to it as many times as possible. Je pars, tu pars, il part, elle part, on part. Nous partons, vous partez, ils partent, elles partent. Past participle, parti. Sortir. Je sors, tu sors, il sort, elle sort, on sort. Nous sortons, vous sortez, ils sortent, elles sortent. Past participle, sorti. Dormir. Je dors, tu dors, il dort, elle dort, on dort. Nous dormons, vous dormez, ils dorment, elles dorment. Past participle, dormi. Okay? So basically for these verbs, the rules of thumb that you have to remember is that they have two radicals, right? We call them radicals or stems. One for the singular persons and the other one for the plural persons. For the singular persons, it goes before the last consonant in the radical, right? So, part, sort, dort. And for the plural persons, it's going to be done in the old-fashioned way by removing the ER, the mark of the second person, the mark of the second group verb, ER, and adding the terminaison, the endings, to what's left. Part, 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 sort, dorme. Voilà. Tammy, tu pars ce week-end? Oui, je pars pour la Louisiane avec Tex. Nous allons rendre visite à Pau Pau. Samedi soir, nous sortons danser et manger de la cuisine cadienne. Et Pau Pau, il sort avec vous? Non, il préfère rester à la maison pour dormir. Ok? Il préfère, he rather, or he prefers, rester à la maison, stay home, pour dormir, to sleep. And the practice. Try the practice, okay? It's very straightforward. You're just going to have to remember the form, the pattern that these three verbs follow. Okay? Pau Pau ne sort pas parce qu'il aime rester à la maison. Pau Pau doesn't go out because he likes staying home. Nous dormons beaucoup le week-end. We sleep a lot on the weekend. Betty et Amy aiment sortir avec leurs amis. Of course, you gotta pay attention to the context. Now, if you have a verb here, aime, the verb aimer, to like, we know that after verbs that express liking, likes and dislikes, the second verb is going to be in infinitive. Okay? Aime sortir, aime manger, aime parler. Okay? They like to go out with friends. Joe Bob, est-ce que tu pars ce week-end? Are you leaving this weekend? Etc. Ainsi de suite. Bah, c'est tout pour l'instant. That's all for the time being. Practice, 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 and send me your questions if you have any. Merci!